Hey guys, in today's video I'll be doing kind of more of a tropical update video on kind of where we are right now for the tropics and what's going on in the Atlantic and what we're going to expect in a pretty short amount of time, just really actually from around this point in time and going through the rest of August and going really into through the peak of the season. So first, I want to show you the what the NHC is showing, and the NHC has highlighted this area of disturbed weather, which it's giving a 10% chance of formation within the next 2 to 5 days. This won't develop into anything really, but it it does though indicate that the atmosphere is starting to once again become a lot more favorable for a lot more tropical activity to form, and we'll get a lot more named storms and a lot heavier activity going on really throughout the Atlantic basin from the MDR into the Caribbean, the Gulf, and the East Coast. Most likely we'll still see chances for potential tropical activity, I think, as we head farther into August, really going through the rest of August and into September. So as of right now, it's a frontal wave located several hundred miles west-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Is producing a few showers and thunderstorms. Some slight development of the system is possible during the next day or so. While it moves slowly westward, after that time, environmental conditions are expected to become less conducive for development. So yeah, again, this doesn't look like it will form. But this really just indicates that the atmosphere in the MDR, once again, is starting to become a good bit more favorable to start to get a lot more tropical activity to sustain itself and form. So that's something we're really going to have to look out for. I'm going to show you what the CANSIPS model is showing for what they're forecasting kind of for total precipitation over the next few months. So this is for August, and as you can see, there's a lot of precipitation that's going to be going on for the MDR, going through the Caribbean and into the Gulf, and then all along the East Coast. But looks like there's not going to be too much precipitation right off the East Coast, so that is probably an indication most likely that there won't be too much activity coming along the East Coast. But it does. This most likely indicates for the East Coast potentially that a lot of the tropical systems will form the MDR, go through the Caribbean into the Gulf, and then hit the Gulf Coast and then come up through the East Coast and really amp up our rainfall precipitation totals. And then as we head into September, they become, of course, a little less confident as time goes out, because that's just the nature of forecasting, especially for these models. But they do still show that, again, in September we'll see a lot of precipitation for the MDR, Caribbean, and Gulf, and then maybe a slight bit more precipitation for especially the southeast mid-Atlantic coastline. So that could indicate maybe a few more potential chances of tropical activity for the East Coast as we head into September, but of course we'll have to see. That'll change. And then October, it really gets more defined towards the very western MDR region and into the Caribbean and some of the Gulf. But it looks like the Caribbean will be most likely potentially the biggest hotspot for tropical activity as we head into October, which of course is generally expected. Especially since as we head into October, we expect a lot more homegrown systems, and generally they are homegrown starting in the Caribbean. And then as we head into November, it kind of generally starts to dry up a good bit. I think in general, for the remainder of the season, or at least showing you for the months that are still considered within the hurricane season, the rest of August going to September, October, November. That's the November is the last month of the official hurricane season. In general, for what the CANSIPS is showing currently is that it'll change, I think, more towards the Gulf Coast, Caribbean, and maybe the Florida Southeast coast. will see a lot more activity heading through the peak of the season. Though I do still think that there is some chances for at least a few tropical systems to go farther north up the East Coast and impact the Mid-Atlantic and New England, potentially. So still, Mid-Atlantic and New England areas, still be very prepared for the rest of the season. Do not let your guard down at all, especially from what we've seen thus far. And it looks like that the rest of the season is going to just ramp up even more, and we'll see just a lot more activity and a lot more dangers ahead for a lot still a lot of areas. I'll show you the what the models are showing, kind of for what they're thinking moving forward. Especially, I think going after August 10th, which is 2 days away from now. So generally, from around this point moving forward, we'll really start to see the conditions become a lot more favorable for the potential of tropical development happen in the Atlantic. This is the farthest the GFS goes, actually. So currently it's not really showing too much, but they are showing a lot of precipitation going through the MDR again as well, and a lot of tropical waves moving from Africa through the MDR. So there's still a lot of precipitation going on in the MDR and the tropical Atlantic, the Caribbean even. So we'll have to watch out for that because, of course, this will change a lot going forward, and we could see a lot more systems being forecast to strengthen and get a bit more and potentially become more of a tropical systems. Here's what the CMC is showing. These are the newest runs for the GFS and CMC models today, the 12Z runs, or like the midday runs. And you can see the CMC is generally showing kind of the same story as the GFS. It's still showing the tropical waves coming off of Africa, going through the MDR and heading towards the Caribbean and even the subtropics of the Atlantic, which is this area north of Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Leeward Islands, the Bahamas, near Florida, that area. So that's something we'll have to watch out for. I'll show you the ECMWF, the European model, what it's showing for the vorticity. So you can see that it's not showing potentially as vigorous as what the CMC and GFS are potentially showing right now, but it does show as we head out towards around mid-August, getting into the latter half of August, there's some chances for better vorticity, better potential for systems to really get their acts together and form. So again, we'll just really have to watch this and make sure we're prepared for the rest of August and going through the peak of the season into September. So that's what the models are showing. And then for going to the Wikipedia page for the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, we've seen now a total of 45 fatalities. In fact, Isaias has become the deadliest tropical system so far. It's killed 18 people. And total damage as of right now is somewhere above $1.8 billion in damage. So the damage is total damage is definitely continuing to go up, of course, because we're seeing a lot of systems starting to impact land. So another thing actually is I really want to show the current forecast, the projected forecast for total activity this season. NOAA released their newest forecast just a couple days ago, calling for this is actually one of its most vigorous and active forecasts they've put out in quite a while. They're calling for 19 to 25 named storms total, 7 to 11 hurricanes, and 3 to 6 major hurricanes. And their current forecast even actually lines up pretty much perfectly with my current forecast. I'm calling for 23 named storms, 11 hurricanes, and 7 majors. But again, really, CSU, Tropical Storm Risk, that's TSR, and NOAA, all of us, these three, and including my forecast, we're all generally calling for now a good bit higher potential that we most likely will enter the Greek alphabet. So currently I'm forecasting we'll get to beta, which is the second name in the Greek alphabet. which still will be very record-breaking. That would still become the second most active Atlantic hurricane season on record, right behind 2005. But of course, there is still some potential that we could see even higher activity, slightly higher activity, and get past beta by maybe a couple of names. Oh, and by the way, the current damage they have put out for Isaias is somewhere above $78.6 million in damage. I'm really hoping that's honestly their current what they've currently put out, because I think it's caused a lot more damage than that. I think it's potentially has caused at least around $1 billion to $2 billion in damage. So I don't know. I don't know exactly if that's the official total damage ECS has caused, which I really doubt it is, but it's kind of surprising. Yeah, I think it's the total damage for ECS is definitely going to be a lot higher, for sure. And we've gone through 9 names on the list, and then we had the Tropical Depression 10 as well. So we've gone through 9 names. The next name on the list is Josephine, the J name, and especially with the current forecasts, and now we're really going into the peak of the season now. We could really just bang through a bunch of these names just really within August and just heading into September. So I really think we'll get through all the way through Wilfred quite quickly, potentially, and then enter the Greek alphabet. My current forecast for when we will potentially enter the Greek alphabet and will most likely potentially use the Greek alphabet is as we head into the beginning of October. So I think we'll bang out all of the names on the current pre-designated list through by the time we get to the end of September, and then as we enter October, we'll have to start using the Greek alphabet names potentially. That's my forecast for right now. We'll see if that'll change at all in any way going forward as we start to see more activity and start to see a lot more name storms happen. But that's really it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this and really enjoyed this quick update on what to expect for the tropics moving forward, pretty shortly forward, and going into the rest of August and September, the peak months, and then potentially what we could maybe expect for going towards the end of the official hurricane season. Yeah, again, I really hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.